And whatever they want to do with their emotions for quite some time is up to them. But, it brings a community together.
Well, they got to the point where you can't have any type of gratitude wallowing in self-pity
Mm-hmm.
about anything in life.
Yep.
I tell you what, next time you go out to dinner,
Mm-hmm.
write on the check something nice to the server.
Yeah.
That might make their whole day to see something else other than, the price of something or whatever
Sure.
it may be, the tip of mine. But I do it all the time. I was taught that by an ex who she served and said, how nice it is to see something, and she'd always bring that ticket home. That little note, that little thing might have made somebody's whole day. You don't know, like I said, you never know what somebody's going through.
Yeah.
You know what is funny, not to jump back and forth, but you ever notice something about Mayberry?
What's that?
Nobody's married.
Nobody's married. Everybody's single. Not one. The only married people were the one. It's so true. The only one that was married was the one. I just saw it the other night. It was a couple he was trying to save. They fought all the time, and they screamed and fought. I can't remember their name. I just saw it, and of course Andy's trying to solve it. Everybody's complaining about their fighting and screaming, and they were miserable being nice to each other. They were happy fighting. And that, I think, is the only married couple in that show. Everybody is single. And, I mean, you look at the time period, and and people think...
That wasn't common.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Even Aunt B, they couldn't get her married. I know, Todd. No. I realize that, and it's just storytelling at its best. That's funny you brought that up. I appreciate that because I bring that up more often than not. It's no one was married on that show. Goober, Barney, none of them.
Gomer.
When we started today's show, we were late, and I know. And when we started it, I can guarantee, and I just want our listeners to know, Todd and I really did not know today. We usually kind of come up with a direction we may or may not want to, that we want to lead toward and that kind of thing. But isn't it amazing? The whole thing that we talked about today was simply being kind and about bullying and understanding what could be behind bullying and how terrible it really is, but that it's their sadness and heartbreak as well as the person that they're hurting. And, bullies need to be dealt with. It isn't the old days where you just, even the little kid that, all right, Mayberry, the cute little blonde kid that Opie had to stand down because he was bullying him and taking his lunch or his lunch money and stuff like that. He came from a father that was being mean to him. Mm-hmm. And so then he would go and then pick on Opie. And it really does come from somewhere. Now, sometimes it is just in the brain, and it is a dynamic that needs to be dealt with, whether it's through medication or treatment or whatever. But a lot of times it is the environment that they come from. And so I just think if everybody would just take a step back and try and figure out a way. I mean, we've got kids that are committing suicide because they're being bullied. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
Good Lord.
It's heartbreaking.
I mean, what you would think, back in your childhood, what could be so bad that you want to take your own life? As a kid, everything's supposed to be new and fun and shiny or whatever, and you're thinking about suicide? That's another bad thing about the internet.
Yep. It paints false pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And people think that people are happy and they're not, and that their life is perfect. And these kids, these teenagers see that there's a certain way that looks happy, whether it's through advertising or whether it's through other kids in their social groups. But if you have a group of kids, more than one person, teaming up and picking on you, it's hard. It's hard to back out of that and feel that you have any self-worth.
Yeah, because anytime I get the opportunity to speak to kids,
Mm-hmm.
that the topic gets brought up is bullying
Yeah.
and teen suicide and that nature. Yeah, absolutely, I bring it up because that's another derivative of which can lead to alcoholism and addiction.
Right. Because
You're trying to hide. You're trying to numb that pain. You're trying to get away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just tragic. But all you can keep doing is spread the message, spread positivity to the best of our ability, with our capacity, and lead by example. You can't talk out of the side of your neck and then turn around and be outside the gate and acting a fool. You can't do that either. So you gotta, and it's not playing a part. You when you legitimately feel this way, when you feel positive, when you want others to be legitimately happy. It took me a long time just to understand the word love and what it meant to others. And when you truly love somebody, that whether they're near or far, whether they're beside you or not necessarily in your life anymore, you wish the best for them and their happiness, and for them to be happy with them. Because when you don't, it turns into a selfish, self-centered act because you're mad or angry or whatever change had come about. And then you're miserable. And then not only are you miserable, you have a discontent or a dislike for another human being, and you just can't be that way.
It's so unhealthy. And I love the way you summed everything up as we start to close the show here, is that, hey, write a note to your server, tell her how wonderful she is. I told somebody they looked nice the other day, and she got choked up and started crying. I said, okay, I did not mean to make you cry. I gave her a big hug, and she said that I have not had somebody tell me that. She lives alone. She's divorced. Her social group is small. And she said, I haven't had somebody genuinely say that to me in I don't know how long. And that's part of what I was talking about when I was in my own four walls. The hugs aren't there. Hey, you look nice today, or whether it was me telling someone else or someone else telling me that, hey, have a good day. I love you. And she did. I said, good grief. Now, you're going to cry. And we were giggling. I said, you're going to mess up your pretty makeup. But I genuinely meant it. So not to make people cry, but tell somebody they look nice today. Tell them you hope they have a good day with genuine interest. Give a hug. A hug for you. It's human contact. And a hug for them. You just don't know what you could be doing to someone in a positive way, and for yourself. Because as soon as you start giving, the second you do something nice for someone, or the second you start giving or serving, it no longer is just about you. You have now brought a human being into your circle, and that provides self-worth. And so on behalf of Todd and I, give it a go. And as I always say, if you're afraid to do it anyways. It's called courage. And the courage that it takes, a little bit of effort to do something kind or nice for someone. Todd, your message today is really going to help a lot of people. Thank you so much for being here and for putting up with me for being a little bit late.
You are so welcome. And like I said, you got absolutely nothing to lose by being this way and everything to gain. Hell, just try it. You might feel good.
Yep, absolutely. And if you're wondering about that love thing, and if you're feeling lonely and you don't think that nobody loves you out there, we do. Have a great
Yes,
day.
we do.
I love you, Todd.
I love you, Aunt Bev. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.